Hi everyone, delonewolf here, and welcome back to some EVE Online. And in today's video I'm back in Jita, so I want to discuss the latest devlog about the exploration changes that are going to be deployed in the Phoebe release, which should be for November 4th. It's actually pretty nice, you know. They've been updating a lot of facets of EVE Online through these releases, and it does show that they can basically try to implement changes in many different facets of the game at a much smoother pace than with the previous release schedule of just two major expansions every year. So let's go and check it out here. We'll start with browser, then we can just go straight into the devblog. All that is gold does not glitter, data sites, expeditions, and more. So first of all, for what we mostly do is in exploration, you know, looking for data, relic sites, and combat sites. It's the data sites that get a little bit of a buff. At the moment, relic sites are considered worth more than data sites. This is true in low-sec and null-sec. In high-sec, this is not that true because relic sites are really bad there. But yeah, they're looking to lower the volume of the most commonly dropped items in exploration data sites from 1.0 to 0.5. The drop frequency of faction post blueprints in all data and relic sites has been increased. I think that's pretty good. It's been quite a long time since I've actually seen a faction post blueprint myself. The drop frequency of optimized items in all data sites has been increased, and faction materials have been added to all the exploration data site loot tables. These can be found in manufacturing and research materials, faction materials sections of the market. I've checked it out. A few of them are actually worth quite a little bit, so yeah, it does look like it's a little bit of a buff for data sites. I'm not sure if it's actually going to be a buff for the high-sec data sites though. If those get these faction materials as well, it could look pretty good. Various industrial goods have been added to all the exploration data site loot tables. These can be found in the trade goods, industrial goods sections of the market. Lists of the items added are high-tech data chips, high-tech scanner, high-tech small arms, and high-tech manufacturing tools. Maybe I should just take a quick look here and see if I can find that. Was it trade goods and then manufacturing something? Let me see. Criminal, consumer, industrial goods maybe, and then some chips. High-tech data chip. Well, that's not worth a lot. Manufacturing tools, scanners not found. So it's not like it's like those are worth that much, but just a little bit of variety and a little bit of a buff to data sites. Why the hell not? What this means is that the percentage chance of finding some lovely shimmery like things will be slightly higher. The volume decrease should of course mean less traveling in between your runs. We've also added all the data and relic exploration sites found in null security space to wormhole class 1, 2 and 3. That's pretty good for us personally, of course, and I do think it will encourage day tripping. If I'm not mistaken, null-sec relic sites can actually be very profitable if you find the right one. This means that you don't actually have to take a fully fitted combat ship into wormhole space anymore. It might just be an incentive for newer players to also take their cheap exploration frigates into a wormhole system, scan everything there, and if they can then find one of those null-sec data or relic sites, they can quickly do them and get back out. It might just make day tripping in wormhole space a little bit more attractive, might give people more targets of a different nature as well, because at the moment if you're going into a wormhole, you're prepared for sleepers. That means battle cruisers, tech tree cruisers, stuff that can actually defend itself quite heavily. This could give wormhole space a little bit of different scene, some new people, some new blood coming in here to check places out. And it could of course also mean that a few of the wormholes actually increase their value a little bit, so pretty good. Next up we've got expeditions. So once in a while battles in dead space tend to escalate due to you being able to track down the origins or destinations of enemy messages. These are called expeditions and normally escalate further and further until you reach a dead end or the final location, mostly in low-sec space. So the general bulk of the work has simply been to smoothen out the expeditions by fixing all the existing defects associated with them, bosses that didn't spawn, triggers that didn't work, etc. But we've also touched upon a few other aspects. For example, in some anomalies and signatures, most of the expeditions require you to interact in some way with the space scene. So we've added in some messaging to guide you towards a specific structure. Now, I think that's okay, but honestly, if I find an expedition myself, I have to go to Google, I wiki the expedition, and I find out what the triggers will be depending on which escalation I'm in myself. So this could be helpful in some way, but I don't think that for most people that actually do a lot of exploration and find these escalation, that is going to increase the likeliness of them doing it, because you just have a second screen or an alt tab to a Google wiki page and you'll find out where the triggers are anyway. So that was not really a big problem in my opinion, but it might just help a few people. What's going to help, of course, is that they've increased the percentage chance of the rare types of expeditions occurring because they feel that they're just being run too few times. So I think that's okay. Expeditions can be very interesting, but keep in mind that I think a lot of high-sec explorers are quite averse to taking risks. And for me, for instance, if I see a low-sec expedition, either we go in there with a few more guys so that we can actually keep an eye on everything and we're pretty sure that we can get back out of there, or I just skip it and I go back to some high-sec exploration. So increasing the rate, why not? Yeah, having a lot of those end up in low sec, I understand the incentive, but it's just a point where I think they'll see that a lot of people just say, okay, fine, that's not worth it for me anymore, I'll go back to some other high sec exploration. And finally, a little bit of an update to the career agents as well, where they are going to try and reduce the wall of text for some of the new players that try EVE Online, so they don't have to do that much reading when going through the career agents. But yeah, this is just going to be a small update towards the new player experience. But it's nice to see that CCP is continually developing the game and actually keeping an eye on the metrics. This is really the feeling that I'm getting from this dev blog, is that they're looking at the exploration numbers and the expedition numbers, and they're seeing that, well, data sites are being left behind in probably nullsec and lowsec, so we're gonna have to buff them up a little bit. Expeditions are just not run that often at all, and so they're going to increase the availability. They're going to try and make it a little bit more accessible as well. So all in all, this is pretty good. What maybe could be interesting for expeditions is to add like specific rewards. They don't even have to be like extremely valuable, but maybe specific bosses at the end of expeditions, named bosses, so that actually will drop something that will be like a reminder that you actually did that. Stuff like that could actually increase the likeliness of people running these expeditions. But it's a good change. I think I really like the fact that these nullsec data and relic sites are coming to our wormhole, so that could be interesting as well. I think that's going to add a new dynamic, a new opportunities for explorers that may not yet be able to use their tick tree ships or stuff like that. So yeah, there you go, guys. We're also going to get some updates for exploration and expeditions in Phoebe. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.